Good morning, people. This is time for Monday morning devotion, and we're doing a new series that we started last week on the tests of God. God is not being mean when he tests us, he's just being God, and the object of his test is that we should pass it so that we can build some good character. It's a good reason as to why God tests us. In the book of Genesis, as we've been working through, we're looking at chapter 11 right now. And we see a remarkable test that might be applicable to many people that you know, or maybe even yourself, I don't know. But it's the test of the tower. You see, there was a tower that the people wanted to build. And God, when Noah and the animals came to rest upon Mount Ararat, Noah was told by God to go out now and to replenish the earth. Let the animals loose, let them do their thing, and let's fill the earth with bountiful and good stuff. And Noah wanted to do that, and after a while the people gathered together, and there was now a good crowd of them. And God said, I need you guys not to group together. You got to go out and you got to replenish the planet. You're not going to do that all sitting in one place. But the people, they knew better. They passed the test of getting out of the ark anyway, but they failed the test of doing it God's way. You know, I've done many funerals where I've listened to eulogies of people who have passed away. And I say with respect, some of them are quite sad. We as human beings tend to elevate people who do it their way. This was a self-made man or a self-made woman. And I'm thinking, how sad is that? Because we're not meant to be self-made. We're made in the image of God, and God would want for us to work alongside him to create this world to be what he wants it to be. Self-made men and women are generally selfish men and women whose ego and whose drive is simply about themselves. I'll do it, as the song says, my way. So you ask yourself, well, how do I know if I'm one of them? How do I know if I'm trying to be a self-made man or a God-made man or woman? Well, ask yourself a few questions. First of all, check out your conscience, because a self-made man tramples on people. Ask yourself the question, have I been honest? Have I been integritous? Have I lived a life that has been a blessing to people and not lorded over people and tried to play the king of the castle game? Your conscience is going to be a really good indicator as to whether you are self-made or allowing God to shape who you are. Self-made people are generally people who have challenging ethics. They sometimes do it so badly that they don't even know the difference between right and wrong because they've been doing it for so long. They're able to justify their actions, and incredibly, many of them are even able to sleep at night. But a person with a good conscience won't sleep at night, knowing full well that he may have offended somebody unnecessarily. He may have had some measure of immorality sneak into his life. You will know if you are self-made or that you are not doing it as God would want it to be, that you are doing it your way, if you can identify with those things. Self-made people are generally people whose lives are full of toil and trouble. It's just hard work and it's grind, like it was for the people back then at the Tower of Babel. You see, God told them to do one thing, and they decided, we've got a better idea than God. We're going to do it our way. And if you want to do it your way, let me tell you, there will always be toil and there will be trouble. Because as I've said a number of times, the blessing of God, there is no substitute for. And when the blessing of God is on your life, there will be no need for toil and sweat and trouble. Oh, there'll be need for hard work and big decisions. I do not take that away. But the fact remains, the toil and the trouble of a life that is full of ups and downs and ugliness and tension is not the way that God would want for you to live. There is no substitute for the blessing of God. And if you have the blessing of God, then toil and trouble is not going to be part of that. How interesting is it that you can do it all right and get it wrong without the blessing of God? Or you can do it sometimes even wrong and get it right because of the blessing of God. Have a look at your life today and see if that isn't true. You know, when God came to the Tower of Babel, I guess in our language we would say the Tower of Babel, because at the beginning of the account it says that everybody was of one language, and God came down and he confused them. Have a look at your life. There's another symptom of doing it your way. Confusion. your confusion over your morals, your confusion over your ethics, and your confusions over your spiritual walk with God. And that is not, people, how it should be. Let's seek the blessing of God before all else. Let's do it His way and not ours. And the blessing of God for which there is absolutely no substitute. And God was looking for people like Abram, who's the next hero in our story, whose righteousness and whose desire to do it God's way, he did it wrong many times, but he got it right because of the blessing of God. So have a look at it today and leave nothing behind. If you're going to fix your life, then do it properly. Don't leave any stone unturned to get things right morally and ethically and spiritually, and watch for the blessing of God. There's no substitute for it. Have a great day, people, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.